Across the Park podcast is proud to be sponsored by Globe Gas and Heating. For the best kitchen and bathroom renovations, boiler servicing and repair, and central and underfloor heating in the Northwest, head over to globecentralheating.com and quote Across the Park for a free quote. One last time this season. It is the big match preview. Myself, Ian Mills, and it is a big match. But delighted to be joined by my friend Kirk from Cherries Red Army. I was over on their channel back in November, and Kirk, you were on ours. Life was very, very different back then. I think you were almost as depressed as us. You were worried back then. Firstly, welcome back to the channel, and thanks for coming on. And the first question I've got for you is, just how did Bournemouth get out of it with about a month to spare? From November to that point, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, Ian, thanks for having us back on the channel. What a season it's been. We've had the World Cup in between that as well. And yeah, we were going into that break on a bit of a rough patch, but we got the two results against Everton in that week, the cup game and then the league game. They were really comfortable games for us in the end, which was amazing. But then we had the ownership really kick in, and Gary O'Neill got the job, which is a surprise to some, and others were backing, giving Gary O'Neill this chance. And look, it's been a slog from there on in, but a purple patch in April got us over the line. We got to 39 points. We'll talk about where we're at going into this fixture, I'm sure of that. But we've done enough. We'll be playing Premier League football next year, and our new owner is very happy and plans off the pitch for new training grounds and potential new stadiums. Yeah, it's good times for the Cherries fans.
Yeah, I've watched a couple of your videos, the instant reactions at the ground and the vlogs during it, and they're really good. For any Bournemouth fan who's watching on the Bournemouth hashtag and has just found Kirk, it's at Cherries Red Army on Twitter. It's a really good fan channel. From the outside, Kirk, just looking at Bournemouth, and like I said to you back in November, looking from the outside is sometimes completely different from how you feel about your own football club. I feel Gary O'Neill done a really good job. Is that the feeling within the fan base, or the majority of the fan base?
Very, very split. Mr. Gary O'Neill was head coach for AFC Bournemouth. From the outside, you look on paper, he's done exactly what the objective was before a ball was kicked, and that was keep Bournemouth in the Premier League. Look, I've always said that seasons evolve. We've had a new ownership. We've got £1 million owner that owns Las Vegas Golden Knights hockey team. He's very rich, and he's come in with big ideas. He's pumped 60 million quid into the football side in January. They have added value. You're looking at Dangu Tara, who's added goals and assists. Bean has added goals as well. And we've had a purple patch in April where we picked up 15 points, and that's effectively recovered that January and February, parts of March, where we couldn't even buy a win. 5 points from 30, couldn't score in a lot of matches, and that's effectively kept us in the Premier League, and that's obviously given Gary O'Neill his praise. Look, I'll be completely honest, like I always have been. I'm not sure about Gary O'Neill as a head coach. I'm still not sure what his identity is, what we are as a football side. But thankfully, we got enough wins. We played a lot of teams at good times, Ian. I mean, we played Leicester at a good time. We played Leeds at a good time. Tottenham, even got Liverpool when they were dropping points on the road. So big wins, don't get me wrong. But we played these teams at very good sides where they had their internal issues. And fortunately, some of these games went for us. Mo Salah missing penalties, offsides through VAR. And you need a bit of luck. Of course you do. We've done enough this season. I think we're going to need to do a little bit more next season. But yet to be convinced by Gary O'Neill. But some fans are very happy that we've just got there and we've done what was asked at the start of the season.
Mate, it is a story for you and some Bournemouth fans that you threw gas on the already, let's say, a hatred relationship. A lot of Evertonians hate Liverpool football. Just don't want to even talk about it. We were playing Leeds on a Saturday afternoon, and we all went to watch Bournemouth versus Liverpool at the 12:30 first hand, and we thought, our lovable neighbours will do us a favour, surely. Mate, when you beat them and we perceived them to be dropping points and putting us in it, it only escalated the hatred. Honest to God, it was usually watching the game like you'd imagine watching a Southampton game. If they get beat at 12:30, you're up for it even more. You put us in the ground depressed. So any Bournemouth fan watching that, you've poured fire onto it, or poured more oil onto the fire. Look, it's going to be a massive game on Sunday. I do want to get into that for obvious reasons. Everton have to win. What's been your views? I've given you mine from the outside. What's your views on the outside on Everton and where Everton are and the relegation battle this Sunday with the three teams?
Yeah, and I know you've been here before, but it's quite a while ago, and you've been looking at Europe in your career, in your history of the club. So yeah, I remember going back and looking at that Frank Lampard side, and we got to see it a little bit in that EFL Cup, and I thought this is a really poor side under Frank Lampard, and I didn't expect it to be as bad a few days later in the league, but you really were. It was a really comfortable day for us at Dean Court. Oh, I actually liked the appointment of Sean Dyche for Everton. I actually was calling for it at times when Gary O'Neill was struggling to win a football match back in January, February, and I felt that Sean Dyche just knows the league. He'll just get stuck into the side. You spent no money in January, but he knows what it's all about. Yeah, he got relegated with Burnley, but he kept Burnley up for many, many years. You have seasons like that. How many managers last 5, 10, 15 years? Not many. So Sean Dyche came in, hit the ground running, got that win against Arsenal. He's picked up 4 for you, which is more than Frank Lampard did. And he has had a few big results lately for me. That one at Brighton, which was a complete shock, and getting the draw against Everton, although you'll need to do something this weekend, potentially a little bit more than just drawing at home. He's put you in the driving seat. It's sort of in your hands. It's in your hands and you're at home. I mean, if you're going into this off the back of a poor season, I assume the Toffee fans are not very happy about how it's played out. But if you're going into it this weekend with it in your hands and at home, I suppose that's the best scenario you could have hoped for.
We got beat a month ago at home on a Thursday night. Newcastle done us 4-1. It could have been 14-1. That the players looked to have given up. And I think, again, not speaking for every Evertonian, but a majority of Evertonians thought that was the real final nail almost, that we wouldn't recover from it. We've got ourselves in a position. I'd have snapped your hands off after that game if you said to me, with no disrespect, Bournemouth, the home last game of the season, in your hands, I'd have snapped your hands off. The problem I've got is I think you're a good team. So I don't think that we're going to go into this, and I don't think it's as simple as outsiders to both of us might look on paper and might have a historical point of view. Everton will beat Bournemouth. I don't think it's as simple as that. So what I'm going to ask you is, what sort of Bournemouth team turns up on Sunday? Am I giving you too much respect there, or are you thinking that Everton possibly are the favourites? What's going to go down?
I mean, football's football, and we're going to find out what happens on the final day of the season on Sunday. But you're in a very good place because we have checked out since we got to 39 points. We've had a few games against Chelsea and Man United where we've not performed too bad. Crystal Palace was diabolical, didn't even register a shot on target. But we literally have checked out since 39 points. Gary O'Neill came out after that point and went, we've done enough. There's no teams getting to 39 points. We're going to be in the Premier League next season. And then after losing against Manchester United on Saturday, he said he struggled to motivate the players since we got to 39 points and we had that week where we played Leeds, West Ham and Southampton. That's a concerning thing for me because I think you should be motivated to play until the end. Points mean positions means prizes. We potentially at one point could have got 11th, and now our best is 13th, and you're talking about 4 or 5 million quid that the club's going to miss out on. So I don't really like that factor. I think that as players, fans, we're all traveling on Sunday to go and support the team. I want the team to turn up. I hope we can put in a performance. I hope we can finish the season positively in, but we've lost the last 3. We've lost 6 in 12, and in 6 of those losses, we've scored once, conceding 15. Now, that's probably going to help the Everton fans there with that little fact that maybe you are in a good place going into this game. So, yeah, it's a good time to play us. We've played some teams at good times. I think it's a good time to play us, but who knows? We might turn up if Gary O'Neill gets it right, actually plays players in proper positions and stops tinkering with the side as he's done of late, then we might give you a game. The only thing I would say is there doesn't look like there's many goals in Everton. I think Calvert-Lewin might be out.
He's out.
Mulpay's only got 1. Dwight McNeil's, I think, your top goal scorer, and I think he might have been played at left wing back or left back the other day. So from that fact, I think we've got a chance. But if you win the game, you might only need to score 1 goal because that's how we're playing at the moment.
we'll get into predictions at the end, and I think you're right. I think that it's not going to be a high-scoring game. I don't know, because of the injuries we've got now. We've got no Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We've got no fullbacks, so there's 4 fullbacks who are injured, and Ben Godfrey, who's the centre half who can cover either side, is also injured. So basically 5 fullbacks out. We played Michael Keane right back against Wolves, and Dwight McNeil left back. I don't know whether the manager will go 5 at the back with wing backs. I don't know whether he will stick with this, like the 4-3-2-1 that he's got going on. I don't know, and that's what makes this game. It would be nervous with a full strength outfit. It would be nervous if you were 20th and gone with a full strength outfit. It's that kind of game. But with the amount of injuries, I don't know how we're going to set up. And I think that might play into your hands a little bit. I do think Everton will be nervous on Sunday. I think the grounds will be electric. I know there's plans outside the ground to do things. This sounds really silly, but there's a fan group who've asked everyone just all wear blue. Don't wear anything but blue. Make it a C. Get on top of Bournemouth players when they've got a throw in, when they've got a corner, heckle, boo, make it horrible. So I think we'll get all that. I don't know how it's going to go down. I really don't. I don't know how we're going to set up. I don't know how we're going to play. Have you got an idea how you will set up and play?
Yeah, and you're giving me a little bit of hope here with the lack of players you might have in your team, because I just want to come to Everton, Goodison Park, and get a result and finish the season positively. Look,
Yeah.
I think between the fan base, there's a lot of fans within Bournemouth that want to relegate Leeds. I think there's some respect between Everton and Leicester. It's the Leeds that the Bournemouth fans want to go, but I don't want to finish the season losing 4 in a row personally. So that's
Yeah,
where I'm at. With regards to the side, Ian, I really couldn't tell you what we're going to play, whether it's going to be a back 3 formation, whether it's going to be a back 4. Gary O'Neill's flip-flopped, switched it up so much of late, trying to experiment to find out what his identity is and what our philosophy might be next season, costing us these 3 losses, that it could be anything. No Billing on Saturday against Manchester United, no Rothwell. I don't know if they'll come back in. I can definitely tell you that Tavernier's out. That's been a player that's effectively kept us in this league with his numbers and winners that he scored on the road. The back, is it back 4? I expect to see Sabani in there with Senesi, maybe Smudge. Adam Smith comes back in, Vinya on the left. Yeah, it's really difficult, Ian, because he has flipped from a 3 to a 4. And I really don't know what he's going to do. And that's what worries me about next season, because I don't know what we are. I literally don't know what we are. And that's the scary thing. And he's trying stuff, and it's going to be an interesting lineup when he drops it on Sunday. Solanke will be in there, I'm sure, and Dangu Utara. But yeah, he might play some squad players.
Tell you what, mate, me and you would not get a job on Sky Sports News, but we haven't
No.
got a clue. We haven't got a clue what's going on.
Well, I mean, for Everton fans that are watching this preview and this podcast, just go and have a look at the Bournemouth formations in the last 3 or 4 games. We've had a centre back at right back, and that's not necessary. We've had 2 right backs on the bench. We've had a left back come on to play right back when you've got Jack Stacey on the bench, and Adam Smith comes off the pitch. And this is exactly what Gary O'Neill's doing. He's trying stuff, but it's trying stuff that's not really going to be our identity next season. So might be a back 3, might be a back 4. Will we see Billing? Hopefully. Will we see Rothwell? Hopefully. We need those players driving us up the pitch, but it could be Lewis Cook, could be Lerma, might be Lerma's last game as well for AFC Bournemouth. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Really hard to predict what the AFC Bournemouth side will be, though, at the moment.
I think Everton beat Bournemouth if Bournemouth don't turn up for a fight. I think if Bournemouth turn up and they want to play football and they want to score and you want to win the game, I think it'll be a tough afternoon for Everton, because I think the crowd will get nervous at times, and I don't think there's a lot of goals in it, which means it'll never be out of sight. It'll always be close. How do Bournemouth win the game? Is it as simple as you think? Do you agree with that? Maybe Bournemouth are a better side, or are you hoping that maybe Everton nerves get the better of us?
It sounds like we'll have a stronger side from an availability point of view with no Tavernier, as I've talked about. I want us to be on the front foot. I want us to have energy in the game. We've really lacked energy of late. Gary O'Neill needs to get this team motivated. It's the final game of the season. We're travelling 4 or 5 miles up the country to get behind the team. Just turn up for 90 minutes. Let's have a go. Let's get players in behind. Let's put balls in the box. I mean, Ian, we would put 3 balls in the box in the first half, and we had Kiefer Moore on the bench, who's probably our best header of the ball.
Yeah.
We then took Adam Smith off, who created all those 3 crosses, and put Kiefer Moore on. And then you don't cross a ball for the rest of the game, and you've got Kiefer Moore on the pitch. So we need to play to our strengths of our side if we are going to play different players in this fixture. If you're playing Kiefer Moore, put balls in the box, create havoc. If you're playing Billing, then we know that we need to arrive late and square the ball back. So we need to be on the front foot. I do worry that we're not scoring a lot of goals as of late. And I do worry that the players feel like they've almost put themselves on the beach. 1 game to go, final day of the season, Premier League. There'll be drama going throughout the UK with Leeds and Leicester also trying to stay up. So I'd like to think we can win the game just to finish the season positively. But I really think you've got a perfect fixture where we're at right now. And it's on you really at home to keep yourselves up. And you've got a great chance, to be fair.
The most Everton thing ever is if it's in our hands and we mess it up. Trust me, that's the most Everton thing ever.
But didn't you do that many, many years ago? Didn't Graham Stewart take everything into his own hands and keep you up?
Yeah, Graham Stewart. Yeah, we've had a couple. We had one last season as well with 2 games to go. The Crystal Palace game at home where we were going into... We had Arsenal away last game of the season and we just managed to get out of it before we had Arsenal away. So there's been some close ones. Problem being with between last season and this season is we had a Brazilian number 9 up front who'd run through a brick wall for us, and he's not there anymore. So that the team and the personnel and the character is a little bit different. So look, I'm dreading it. I am absolutely dreading it. Just hear you talking about Bournemouth winning is making me feel absolutely sick.
Is there a lot of those players that played in the November fixture and the EFL Cup that will look back to that and think it was a bit of embarrassment if I was an Everton fan seeing that? It was, for me, one of Bournemouth's easiest games and wins this season. And we've only had a couple where we've won comfortably. We beat Leicester comfortably by only a 1-goal margin, but it was a really easy day. I mean, will some of those players look back and think we've got to put a better performance in, even if it is to put right those performances back before the World Cup?
It's an interesting question, but I think what clouds that is, I'm not sure how much you've seen of the away end after the league game, but they turned on the players. They were shouting at the players. I think your stewards had to come over and almost separate the players from. So it was a really, really, it was important for the club that the World Cup came right after that, because if we had another game 3 days later at Goodison Park, I think it really would have been prolonged. Everyone had a chance to cool down and calm down. So I don't think the effects of that lasted very long. They all went away and done other things, whether it be international teams or whether it be just a break. And Everton went to Australia. The players who didn't go to the World Cup went to Australia, won a couple of games against some Sunday League Australian teams, made everyone feel a bit better. So the Bournemouth hangover didn't last too long. In hindsight, we always look back at that and we say that was a terrible week. Maybe that should have been the moment Frank Lampard was sacked. Maybe Lampard shouldn't have got the 5 games at Christmas. Maybe he would have been out of it by now. So the hangover's not really there. I get why you've asked it, because we as a fan base look back at times as well. But it's not going to be on my mind that we owe you one. It's just going to be on my mind that we just somehow have to get out of this. We have to win the game. Bournemouth are a team that I don't dislike. They're not a team that I really want to go and beat. If this was a Newcastle or a City or a Tottenham teams that I don't like, I'd want to go and put one over on them. But it doesn't matter. That Bournemouth defeat didn't really linger around too long. But look, it's like I said, it's one of those games I just wanted to get here. We're recording this on Wednesday lunchtime. It's going to be out on Friday. So Kirk, I know you've indicated you're coming up for the game. I really do hope you'd have a good time. But yes, I suggest if you're going for a pint, get into the Wetherspoons. Don't go near the ground. It's going to be chaos. But look, it's been really kind for you to give me almost half an hour on a Wednesday lunchtime. I really do hope, Kirk, that we're doing this again next season. I'll give you my prediction. I'm going to lead with the heart. 2-0 Everton. What are you countering? What's your prediction?
And previous results, that wouldn't surprise me. Obviously, I'm a Bournemouth fan. I'm coming up to the game. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that Bournemouth turn up and we can give you a really good game on the final day of the season. Look, I'm going to go for a draw. It's probably the best I can offer right now. Although this Everton side sounds depleted, I really do think that you're fighting for your lives and that will get you something from the fixture. I'm going to go for 1-1. We don't score many goals at the moment, but I'm going to go for 1-1. And yes, I think even though Leicester win that might turn the tables a little bit, I do think you just do it. I do
Oh, don't
think you
say
just
it.
do it. I do think it is as it is. There might be twists and turns throughout the 90 minutes throughout the day, but I think you just do it. And you've got this new stadium coming as well. So I really feel like you need to stay up for lots of reasons. So 1-1 for me. Hope it's a good game. Hope we enjoy the day, and hopefully there's smiles all round, I suppose, taking a point, not losing, and you staying up as well. Maybe smiles all round.
I hope so, mate. 1-1 was absolutely put 10 years on me over 90 minutes. It's probably going to be exciting for you regardless what's going on. It's going to be nerve-wracking for the Evertonians. But again, thanks for coming on. And any Bournemouth fans who are on the Bournemouth hashtag, it is at Cherries Red Army. Really fantastic fan site. Have you got much coming up in the summer, Kirk, with the channel?
Yeah, so we'll be doing a few bits. We've got a preview on Thursday, 8:30 on the channel. So we'll be previewing this game. We'll have a reaction and a match day vlog that will probably come out on the bank holiday Monday. And then we'll also be doing some post awards and post ratings of the season, and be talking about lots of other things and what the squad will look like. So yeah, if you want to come over and have a look at what we do on Cherries Red Army from a Bournemouth perspective, we are very welcome, and we appreciate your support.
Great. Evertonians who are watching, I'm hoping this is not going to be the final episode of the season, because I'm hoping we're going to do an instant match reaction on Sunday. I'll be honest with you, there's a chance that I'm not going to be able to do it. So this possibly could be the final show of the season. So if it is, for everyone who's watched, thank you so much for watching the Cluster Park podcast throughout the season. Hopefully I'll see you on Sunday and we'll all share a pint and we'll get over this horrible season, because I think we've been through it this season. So thanks for watching. As always, we're in it together. Kirk, thanks very much for coming on. I've got to end it with up the toffees.